Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Mental Override. Success, wealth, and letting go. What do they have in common? What do they have to do with mental override? Success and wealth are really big topics. We see that a lot on the internet. We see it a lot on YouTube. And I want to go over a couple definitions. Maybe we'll take some time to define success. I see success as someone who has a vision or a goal and is taking steps toward that goal. Success can be measured in many different ways. We all have different measures of how we're going to see success, as we're all in different places in our lives. A lot of people think success is financial wealth or coming in first, but you can't really judge someone's actions till you know their options, can you? We all have different options. We're all in different places in life. The next one I want to look at is wealth. What is wealth? Is it just a bunch of money? Is it being able to do what you want? Is it financial freedom? Again, big topics, tons of stuff on the internet. Consider this as a definition of wealth. Wealth is an abundance of whatever you intend to have. So it's an abundance, that's an overflowing, that's lots of whatever you intend to have. You can have abundance in health. You can have abundance in wealth. You can have abundance in relationships. You can have abundance in time, having free time, having intentional time. And here at Mental Override, creating a life with intention, having the life you want, comes from exercising the muscle of mental override. That's choosing what you intend to have, regardless of your emotions, your fears, your influence, the environment, and in particular, that fear of doing something new or doing something different. So letting go, what does that have to do with mental override? Well, last video I said, in order to have the life that you want, first you have to let go of everything you don't want. Why? Why is that important? Well, in order to have what you want, sometimes there are things that are in your way of having what you want. They're blockages. Let's take an easy one, for example, addictions. If you have an addiction, whether it's gambling, drugs, television, sports, anything that is controlling your life unintentionally, you're going to be stopped from having the life that you want. So step one in mental override, and what I think is one of the easiest things a person can try to do, is to let go. You don't have to do anything. You have to release. And releasing can be scary. It can take a lot of effort and exercise to do, but in order to have the life you want, sometimes, and a lot of times, you have to let go of what you don't want. So there are so many things that are competing for our attention in life, whether it's television, radio, advertisements, people telling you what they want for your life rather than asking yourself. Do you know how to say no? Do you know how to say no to these influences? Is no letting go? Is no not taking on what other people want? One of the examples you can have is open hands. If your hands are open, you can have something new put in there and you can have something different. If your hands are closed and you're holding on to what you have, there's nothing there. There's no room for anything new. So two things I'll talk about here. One is minimalism. There are two really good examples of minimalism on the internet. One is Joshua Becker, and two are the minimalists. In my journey, I adopted minimalism, I think about 10 years ago. And one of the first things I did when my kids were born is I removed my television. And the question was, how do you have more with less? So minimalism isn't about being in let's say a tiny Japanese home with 50 things, although for some people that might work. Minimalism is about having more with less. Some easy examples of this is, what if you had less stress? What if you had less sickness? What if you had less external control in your life? What if you had less busyness? A lot of people like to wear busyness as a badge of honor, thinking that if I'm so busy, I've got purpose. But again, if we define wealth as an abundance of whatever you intend to have, do you intend to be busy? Or are you working hard to not be busy? So minimalism, for me, the television was a good one. The other one was a car. I had to sell a car that I owned, and it cost a lot of money. But I knew that if I let go of this thing, I would have room in my life for something new. I'd have room in my life for something more. I could take that money and put it towards something that brings abundance in the areas that I want in my life. And for me, that was a mountain bike. Sold the car, used the money, got a mountain bike, changed my health, changed my fitness, changed my ability to have mental override. So another person, the second thing, is Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson a lot of times will challenge you with really good questions. And one of the challenges he brings is, what's one thing that you know you could change, that you're willing to change, and that you could change? So my challenge for you today is to take a look at your life and go, what can I let go of to have more? So a lot of us are afraid of having less. We think that we need the car, we need the big house, we need the external things for validation, but we're not necessarily having the intention we want in our lives. So as mental override is like a muscle, we can exercise this muscle. And exercising this muscle, one of the ways we can begin, and quite simply, we're not reaching for anything. We're not trying to grasp anything. We're simply learning to let go. And that can be scary. Sometimes it's letting go of a friendship. Sometimes it's letting go of a job. Sometimes it's letting go of a relationship. But I guess you have to ask yourself a few questions. What is it that I want? Why do I want it? What is my inherited belief about this thing that I want? And finally, what steps am I going to take? What actions will I take to have what I want? And so, kind of in the reverse sense, we're going to ask those questions, and we're going to look at what we don't want. Taking a look at your life and looking at what is influencing you and what is taking away from the things that you do want is kind of the beginning of minimalism and the beginning of letting go. I've heard it said that abundance grows where energy flows. So where's your energy going? What are you giving your time and attention to? And what don't you want in your life that is consuming your time and attention? Everything is competing for your attention. YouTube videos are competing for your attention. I'm competing for your attention. But what I'm telling you is to give your attention to where you want it to be by starting with letting go of what you don't want in your life. So my challenge for you is this week, take a look at your life and go, what's stealing my attention? What's stealing my joy? Last week we talked about the Red Deer River and how the waters were getting dirty. Where are those areas in your life that things are funneling in that you don't need, that you don't want, that you can simply release and let go of? We don't have to do any work. We don't have to schedule our day and put the time in just to get something. We'll get to that eventually. But in order to have the life you want, first you must get rid of the things you don't want. Perhaps make a list. If you're strong enough, if you're encouraged enough, if you feel brave enough to exercise your mental override, make a list of the things you don't want, why you don't want them, what's your inherited belief about these things, and what's the action step I can take to release this in my life so I can have more with less. So if you've let go of something, comment below. Put something in down below to inspire others to go, this is what I let go of this week. This is what I'm changing in my life. For me, the biggest one was the television. The next one was my couch in my living room. I got rid of my couch, turned it into what I call the healing room, and now I have mats, different tools, different therapy devices, stretching, exercise, because with that couch gone and that TV gone as well, there was a place for something new. I exchanged what I had, what I was holding on to have something new in my life. So my challenge to you is this week, pick something in your life that you can let go, comment down below, and join me again for another video where we'll continue to learn how to exercise our muscle of mental override to have the life that we want and have intention in our choices. We'll see you again.